Welcome to the Think Fitness Life podcast, where the mind and gym come together to help you live your best life. Hosted by two fitness professionals and your personal trainers, Matt Gluckman and Eric Menchie. Welcome back to the Think Fitness Life podcast, Mindset, Exercise, Nutrition. We are happy to be launching our latest season with a lot more content and in-depth topics. Unfortunately, there's been a wrench thrown into the routine of everyday life. And whatever that may be, it's always important to maintain your health during hard times, whether that's your car breaks down or you are forced to work from home for whatever reason. Your gym's closed, you're traveling, you don't have access to the same equipment again, all similar scenarios. And, unfortunately right now we're all dealing with this coronavirus adjustments, but that's why it's important to have solutions at hand and to make adjustments. So this whole episode, we're going to be talking about adjusting to staying at home, working out at home. We're going to recommend some home gym equipment companies that we like or recommend again. And then we're going to talk about how to construct eating at home because you're stuck in one place usually, and it makes it hard to be disciplined. We'll have our weekly workout and our food for thought as well, kind of ending the episode, wrapping it up. So before we get going, Eric has our weekly workout, and I love to hear that because it's a no gym required weekly workout.
No, not a lot of space required either. It's very simple. It can be done one or two different ways. For more of a beginner or intermediate, it'll be a traditional 30 seconds on, 30 off.
So get a timer.
First exercise, push-ups, 30 seconds of work. You can rest 30 seconds. Then we're going to body weight squats, rest 30 seconds, into alternating lunges, 30 seconds of work, rest 30, iso pull hold. So think this, if you can stand on a towel, I know everyone's got a towel or piece of clothing, stand on a towel, both feet on the towel, bent over in a bent over row position, you're just going to pull against your body weight standing on the floor as hard as you can. It's an isometric, but it's going to work. So it's a 30-second isometric contraction.
Ooh, that's miserable.
After that, we have an iso squat hold 30 seconds, and then finishing with crunches 30 seconds. So very similar, very simple. Push-ups, squats, alternating lunges, iso hold, iso squat, crunches, 30 seconds of each. Now, another way you can do this is you can go 30 seconds of work through every single exercise. So it's going to be 3 minutes of complete work, rest, recover, 3 to 4 minutes, repeat that 3 to 4 times. And all of these series is going to repeat it 3 to 4 times, which you're looking at a total work time, about 12 minutes. So it's not bad, but it's going to be a working 12 minutes. So it's be 3 on, rest 3 to 4 minutes. So you might be about a half hour workout. You can shave it down a little bit less, but that's going to be a very simple workout that you can do body weight in situations like this where you might not have a lot of room. You might not have your gym to work out in, but you can still keep strength, keep working on the cardiovascular system, and improve your health and fitness.
Yeah, and what's funny is when you are lacking equipment, you have to get a little bit more methodical with trying to design something that's going to have enough good stress on your body for you to have a training effect. So what's funny is like listening through that workout and writing through that workout sounds way worse than any workout you do in the gym normally. Like that sounds so miserable, but hey, that's what you got to do. And you sacrifice that hard work, that energy, that discipline, and you'll feel better after it. And if you do something like that for yourself every morning, spend 4 or 5 mornings a week doing some type of work like that, right, we recommend the weekly workout for anyone who needs ideas, but some type of body weight exercise in a shortened period. So, you can go the route of doing 10 squats every hour for the whole day. That's fine. But it's much better to create all that stimulus in a short period so that you get a training effect out of it. So, um, there you go. That's our weekly workout. And that gets us right into our first topic, which is just adjusting to staying at home. So, like Menchie said, when you have little equipment, little space, you have to get creative with your workout solutions, but also a lot of mental solutions, nutrition solutions, and you have to construct a routine for yourself. I think that's the best thing I can recommend, and I've seen a lot of success with people is kind of having the we talk about it with our physical therapists where we have time where we analyze and construct something, but then we have time of executing. So if you spend the time to write a little morning routine, whether that means the first thing you do is you meditate. There are great apps out there called Insight Timer that have guided meditations, something like that to kind of set the tone for the day. And then you do like a little movement stretch, almost like a similar to a yoga. There are plenty of um, channels on YouTube that are really good. Some of my favorites is Mobility WOD and Mobility Warrior. And then do some type of physical activity, whether it's a jog or maybe have a bike, and then do that weekly workout, and you should feel great during the day. You'll put your best mind forward, your best brain forward, but you do have to kind of construct and have like some type of scaffolding and some type of framework that you're adhering to.
Yes, and I think that is very important on this whole thing because I know people go to the gym and when they get to the gym, that's when they kind of decide what they're going to do. Oh, they're going to see, is this machine open? Is that machine open? Can I do that? But now there's no machines, there's no decisions. It's you have to have something concrete in front of you saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do, or you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to go to work out, and you're going to think of probably two exercises you're going to do, and then you're going to be stuck because it's challenging to program if you don't have weights, if you don't have machines. What does that look like? And that just looks like a lot of body weight exercise, and that's what right now in the situations where we don't have gyms, we don't have weights, it's going to come down to using your body weight in many different ways, and we still want to keep the body fully moving. I think running is a great thing. More people are going to step out of their comfort zone of weight training, treadmill running, whatever modalities, and it's just going to be an interim change of pace, change of exercise, and that's fine. That's good for the human body.
Yeah,
Running is probably the
even
best thing we
walking,
can.
even getting
Yeah,
outside in general. Yeah.
and that's going to be a go-to. But if there are people out there that are going to get tired of running, or the other side, we still need to get strength training and resistance training in to make sure we're keeping up with those systems, and that's where body weight's going to come in play. And it's just not body weight with normal rep ranges, 12 to 15 reps, because if someone's been working out, the stimulus probably already isn't enough. So now we're taking these body weight exercises and movements, and how do we create a bigger stimulus for the body to maybe change, adapt, and keep growing and stronger? And that's why in the daily workout, I put a time limit to it. So instead of
Mm.
doing reps, everything's against a timer. And I have a piece of paper there sitting there. In 30 seconds, I got 27 reps. In the next 30 seconds, try to get 27 or a little bit more. Try not to fall off to be worse. And then you come back, say the next week you're doing the same exact exercise and you get 29 reps in that 30 seconds of push-ups. Now you just showed that your capacity has grown. You've gotten stronger because you can do more reps and you're adapting. And that's another way that you can change the workout. The other way, or the workout will change and you will grow. The other way is increasing time throughout the workout. You can take the same workout, and one day you can do 30 seconds. One day you could do, this is
40
going to get tough,
seconds.
45 seconds.
Yeah.
The other day you could just do all isometrics. You could take those 6 exercises and do all isometric holds on them for a different training effect. So
Ooh.
you give you one program, and it's just, how do I find 4, 5, 6 different ways to change this program, because programs are going to get very, very boring. There are going to be a lot of body weight squats and a lot of push-ups, but that's what it's going to have to be until we can get back in the gym. And we will get back into gyms, but for now we have to be able to be okay with keeping that kind of workout going.
Yeah, and it's also important to mention that what we're trying to do is kind of mimic what stimulus you've been putting on your body in the gym. So a lot of people overload with weight because it's really easy to do in the gym, and now you have to overload with adjusting other variables, like Menchie's saying, with amount of reps or maybe just time under tension in general in an isometric hold. And it's going to go a long way for you to just keep up with your lean body mass, your cardiorespiratory system. You're still putting good stress on your heart, and it's just going to help in this interim period, wherever it may be, on again vacation or quarantine, unfortunately. And then when you get back to the gym, you get back to your more formal workouts with more equipment, and you'll still have a little struggle kind of getting back into it, but it'll be easier to pick up where you left off. Versus if you just take this time as a complete vacation from all your health maintenance practices, and then you try to go back, it's going to be a lot harder road and an uphill battle to get back to where you were. So this is really important to just adjust in this period. This is hard for everybody, and we can play victim, and we can say, why, oh, woe me, why me? But we can also just say, this is what we have to work with and make do. You make the best music you got with whatever instruments at your
And
disposal.
the other side, we know people are sitting at home and have time.
Yes.
So now it's not like a time isn't an issue. It's now, okay, time, we have the time. It's going to be, okay, you're in your same room. This is the place you're doing. That's where people are going to have the tough decision to make. Okay, oh, I'm on my couch. I have to get up and go work out in the other room. That's challenging for some people, and that's what people are going to have to see, recognize, and say, I have to go do this. I've been telling my clients, especially, try getting a workout earlier on in the morning. Wake up, try to get that
Yep.
series in. It's not going to be your traditional 45 minutes to an hour workout. That's fine. But you still want to get some high
Right.
intensity work in, some sort of physical activity, and then you can go throughout the day.
We're talking about we're thinking about your heart, your neuromuscular system, your cardiorespiratory system, and it's just really important to put work on those systems. And first thing in the day helps you be disciplined so you don't just forego it and just brush it under the rug. And I think a lot of times what happens is people lack that discipline at this point, and that's what helps to have that constructed maybe week at a glance program. You just write on a piece of paper what you'd like to see yourself get done Sunday to Saturday, and then that can improve week over week, and then you get more detailed and figure out what you want to do each day, right? But I think a lot of times what comes to mind is that there's a commercial with Common on it, and he talks about how we live in a fast moving world where we have access to the best information that we've ever had in any generation, and all that matters is what we're going to do with it. It's so true. It's just like we have so much time right now, and we have our house or our home or our living space, whatever it may be, and it's like a blank canvas. And what are you going to do with it? Like, yeah, there's time for relaxation, fun, and just chilling out, but I guarantee those are going to feel much more rewarding if you have the discipline to write yourself a home routine. You people who have kids, I know they're writing home routines for their kids. So you do the same thing for yourself with your kids being homeschooled and such. Do the same thing for yourself and what you want to achieve and what you'd like to get done. And if you have a book you want to read, schedule 10 pages a day or something like that. And you just have to set the routine and stick to it. Sit down, construct your personal home fitness routine. Reach out to us on our website if you'd like, or our contact information. We're more than happy to help. And you got to just figure out what's going to be best for you. What's going to be best for Matt Gluckman today. Well, I know that after I'm done this podcast, I do have access to a barbell and some weights, and I'm going to go ahead and get a nice lift on and just go total body in terms of a aerobic workout as well. But then we're going to go for a nice long walk today. It's not that cold and sunny, and getting out with the dog, and we're just planning different things that we stick to. And I think that's going to go a long way because I've definitely been there, and I don't know about you, Eric, but I know that I'm keen. I lean towards the depressive side. Sometimes I have a history of depression in my family, and I have ulcerative colitis, and that's very much linked to the way you feel. And if I just sit there and I'm stagnant, I don't do anything, I just start to feel worse, and all I want to do is lay there and do nothing, and then I feel stuck. And in those moments, you just got to get up and do something physical to get out of those stuck positions. And, I think where we're at now, I'd like to kind of go into some ideas for simple equipment that you can order, and it'll go a long way for you at home. So I know, for example, the first thing I want to say is that the TRX straps. And by the way, we're in no way associated or affiliated with any of these companies. We're not making any money from them or anything like that by promoting them. This is just things that we know are going to be simple solutions for people. So TRX straps are super easy. If you're someone who can get a little bit more creative, all you really need to do is get some metal cables, wire, and some handles and some anchors. And it's the same thing, but yeah. So you have something to anchor to. You have something to do some body weight rows. Something to do a variety of lower body exercises with, and it just goes a long way towards all the different exercises you can add into your routine.
And usually, when you get a TRX, I believe they do send you like a pamphlet with programs and exercise, like base programs and
They do
exercise you
actually,
can
yeah.
do. So it's kind of a win-win. You can anchor it to doors and work out with the closed door.
Trees,
It is
yeah.
pretty versatile. A very good one to use in the interim to do something. If you're looking for a little bit more than just a body weight workout, you can use your own body weight resistance and a little bit different leverages.
Yeah, if I'd say that's probably best for someone who's just looking for total body workouts, looking for more of like toning, or maybe just trying to lose a little bit of weight or lose a lot of weight, and it doesn't matter. And then if you're someone who's really geared at just trying to, maybe you're an athlete and you're in off season, or maybe you're just trying to keep bulking and adding muscle on your system, and you do want more weight and more tension, power bands go a long way for how you can double wrap them, single wrap them. You can go stand on them and do squat to press and make it really really strong tension on your body. Again, you can, like with the towel, step on it and do some curls with it. And you can get like a small, medium, and large, so you have kind of a range of resistances there, and that's super easy. And you can travel with this stuff. TRX, power bands, these are stuff that you can bring with you on the go when you are traveling and you are finding yourself in a hotel because you're working that week or something like that, and you're missing your gym. So I think if I had to recommend, wouldn't you agree, Menchie, like 2 bang for your buck ways to get really creative with your workouts: TRX and power bands.
Those resistance bands, you can do a lot with them. And now some packages come with, there's one setup, but you can have up to 130 pounds of resistance. So it's a lot, and you can do a lot with them. And that's what it's going to be. and how utilizing
Yes.
these pieces of equipment are going to take into effect. So for you, like, are you with whatever body weight or certain equipment, are you changing your programs and how are you doing exercises differently to combat
For
the training? Yeah,
myself, well, so for myself, I'll be honest, I have been very fortunate to have access to a gym. I think that's one thing that you think about when you want to become a personal trainer is like, I just want to work out for the rest of my life. So when you have access to a gym, you don't pay a gym membership, and you do have the added benefit of maybe getting a key or knowing the owner or knowing the manager that can get you in when otherwise would be shut down. That being said, I have done a couple workouts at home without any equipment and just looked at stuff around the house. So I kind of do the Tabata, like 10 on, 10 off type deal,
love it.
type workouts, or I'll just write a circuit and just go through as fast as we can and then break at the end of the circuit. So the idea is like a bulk circuit, getting all the movements done with minimal rest as possible, and then you rest between the rounds, kind of gearing up for the next round. Like, okay, I got to try to improve on this. Got to da da da. And what we did was we found two chairs. We took a broomstick and set it up so that we could do underhand rows under it. We found a high step, so we were doing box jumps onto it, and we found kitty litter because my girlfriend has like 4 cats. So these kitty litter boxes are like 40 pounds
Yes.
each. So at first I was like, okay, we're gonna do some squats with these. So we did some squats and then some box jumps, and then we used the steps to do like 5 push-ups at an incline and then come down a step. 5 more push-ups, keep coming down until you're flat. And then we would do rows, and then I would do some heel elevated squats with the kitty litter, and then we would do some farmer's carries with the kitty litter, and then we did some like dips on the chairs and some bicep curls with the kitty litter and stuff like that. And then we ended like some mountain climbers. So that's kind of a long way to answer your question, but I have adjusted to doing some more home routines, um, and then kind of getting into a barbell and having access to a squat rack has gone a long way, which is great kind of segue into the next level. Like if you're at the level of you don't have any equipment, you don't have any funds right now, you can just do body weight, you have a solution for yourself. If you have some equipment, we recommend obviously some simple things, but then kind of stepping up to the next level. If you are very fortunate to have a squat rack or a rack in general or a bench or access to some dumbbells or just a designated gym space that you're working on building up with more equipment, there's really easy solutions because now you have a lot more space, you have versatility in equipment, and without getting a squat rack, you can go on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace and you can find just like a barbell and some plates. And that goes a really long way towards just maintaining your sanity when trying to do home workouts. Because I think that's a lot of times where people fall off is just that mental aspect of, well, it's boring, it's monotonous, it's not challenging enough, they can't figure out how to make it challenging enough, they don't have the solutions at hand. So um, if we are stepping it up a notch and now we're going into more equipment here, um, I will say that I know Rogue at times like now are actually, they had a period where they shut down
Yeah.
because they had to keep up with all the orders. So, and don't get me wrong, Rogue has great equipment. And I just want to mention again, we are no way affiliated with any of the companies we talk about here today. But I think they're bloated. I think they're overpriced for what they are. I think in terms of, if you're really specific on type of equipment you're looking for, I think in terms of weight and barbell, that's where most of your funding should be spent. But in terms of the rack or the platform or your dumbbells, I don't think that stuff is that. I think the quality is very um, similar across the board of companies. So like Titan Fitness, I know some people have Titan Fitness racks in their home. I know some people have some Rogue Fitness racks in their home, and honestly, they feel exact same in terms of stability and strength and adjusting it. I think it just comes down to price, but recommending some solutions, I'd say go on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace and see if there's anyone nearby who's selling some of this stuff. But I think priority wise, it would be if you have the space already, I say get some plates, get a barbell, and you can do a host of so many other exercises and different workouts.
The other thing I've been recommending to people and some clients that I haven't seen is getting a weighted kettlebell or dumbbell. Even if it's one, you can still do a lot of unilateral stuff with it. You can still do bilateral stuff with it. You just have one weight and you get creative of how you're going to use that weight. Because it's not like you have to go out and buy a whole gym set. I mean, this whole scenario is going to pass eventually, but even if you have something with some resistance on it, you can use it to your advantage. And the other thing with all this equipment and programming is everyone's going to kind of be, well, most people, majority of people should be in a volume phase right now. This is the time where they should be getting a lot of reps in, a lot of volume of exercises, whether it's repetitive, same exercise, or changing. Think of it as more just you're not getting a ton of strength work in where it's heavy weights. So the volume's going to increase. And that's a great thing. The other thing that is big with the body weight stuff is conditioning. It's going to be like Matt said, with these exercises going one right after the other, you're going to build your conditioning systems, and that can be a giant focus for the next month and a half to get you in shape. If you're someone who doesn't really do a lot of conditioning or that kind of stuff, it'll be fun for you. It's going to be a challenge. Your body will adapt and grow, and it's going to get better. And that's a good plus about this is we're so used to doing certain things over and over again, and now we're changing our focus to more, hey, I'm now doing more conditioning based stuff. It's not my favorite, but I'm finding my conditioning levels are increasing. Like, that's good.
I think what's really important to adopt in these phases like this is something you said about opportunity. And I think you got to remember that obstacles are opportunities. Obstacles are always daunting and anxiety producing, and you throw up your arms with so many questions. But look at it as an opportunity. Look at it as an opportunity to improve your conditioning. Look at it as an opportunity to improve your mobility. Look at it as an opportunity to improve whatever. And it redirects you in a certain way just for the time being. This is an opportunity to step back from your normal routine and get a more methodical approach at how to address your current situation and what's going to be best for you, your system, and your family.
Man, that's such a great word. Oh, you're so hit it right on the head, right like that.
Obstacles are opportunities.
Exactly.
Obstacles are opportunities.
Just opportunity to change and get better.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
It's an opportunity to learn. This whole situation. It's an opportunity
to spend more time with your family, spend more time with yourself. You know what? Honestly, though, most people don't want to spend time with themselves. They don't want to face all the demons or the unsettled thoughts that they haven't addressed of a loved one or past relationship or past issue. But hey, this is an opportunity. The obstacle is the way. You got to get through it. Mm-hmm. And this is the opportunity for you to face those things almost without other distractions going on. Honestly,
yeah.
But,
so with that, a big obstacle, especially for us, is adjusting with clients. And how do we keep our clients still motivated and moving and into their workouts? And that's something I found it's quite fun. As we're improvising on the fly right here, it's kind of like, hey, yes, we can still do this, but how do we do it in different ways? We have, virtual training platforms, video calls. I mean, clients and people still want to be in front of someone to have that push and motivation. I'm all for that, and I think it's still good that I can
What are
see
you
some of my
doing?
clients.
I
I'm
want to know
doing
what you're doing.
I've
I
done
want
some
some solutions.
virtual training sessions. Even
Okay.
so, I've done that and been doing it for some bit now. And I'm at first it was I wasn't sure how it was going to go because now you got to know these clients don't have equipment or some of them do, but it's just as me, it's just being myself. You're in front of them just as you would be in person. You're just guiding them through workouts like we did today. But remember that person kind of it's their motivation because you're actually there. You're telling them what to do. It's very hard for people to do something without a coach or someone else telling. And I've also heard of other people doing like Zoom with workouts with other people. So
Okay.
if you and I were on a call, we have one workout and we're do the workout together and still interact. And that's ways people can also, still have some
Stay social.
social and get workouts in.
Yeah.
If you have, one person in Boston working out and then person in Utah doing the same workout, we can run through stuff. So those are options. And I like that.
And
It's fun.
there's another app called House Party that does a similar thing.
Really.
Yeah. And actually, we scheduled like a house party call. It's funny though, but you have like multiple screens up on your phone or tablet, and you see everybody, and everyone sees you, and it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Um, yeah, it's important to get creative, but that's funny because I haven't done any virtual sessions yet. I've done um, where I just monitor people's programs. And I've kind of pushed them into our system. So like everyone that I've worked with in person now is reaching out and is like needs help and needs a program, needs a trainer, needs accountability. And all we're really doing is just implementing the system that we've created here at Think Fitness Life with Eric and I. And we have a bunch of documents on the drive that are shared to everyone just as like a starting point, but then we write an individual program for each person, and it's a document that we just share with our clients so that that's what I'm doing right now, is just sharing with my client so I can see as he does the workout, he puts in the date, he puts in the load, he puts in any notes about, my right hip was hurting on this one, or this one was really hard. And that's that feedback that we need as trainers to help construct and progress and regress movements to get you where you're going. And it's just such an easy way of working remotely and keeping everyone honest and on their fitness journey and continuing their practice for their health maintenance. And it's streamlined it really has. Like I spend about an hour for each person constructing it, and then I spend about 5 minutes a day checking in with everybody, and then another 15-20 minutes on the weekend going through each program, like 15 minutes each program, going through it and adjusting it. And it's just such a good way to keep people honest, keep people held accountable, and then help people who have equipment but don't know what they should do with it. And it's a similar scenario how I feel about finances and taxes and the stock market. Like you can put a book in front of me and I won't know where to begin. But if I have my financial advisor or my accountant sitting here with me, it makes a lot more sense. So that's the same thing we do for people in the health and wellness realm, in terms of the gym, in terms of mental health, in terms of nutrition. We do it with workouts. We use workouts as a tool to help you get mentally and physically your best self.
And with that becomes a big thing of programming. Now, I know we have at home workouts and workouts of the day, but with this and through this whole thing, we're still keeping a program for people. So people are still staying on a program to meet their goals in this time frame. The program might change a little bit because we're limited to equipment, but the end goal and what we're working to while writing the program doesn't change. So it's not like there's random workouts every single day. Like these workouts are meant for something put together into a week and then put together to a month to accommodate and achieve that goal. And the other big thing with that is we're kind of rolling right into it is you got to program nutrition into this whole thing because nutrition is
Yeah.
the other side that is very hard. And I've had some people reaching out and ask me like, hey, or just not more asking, just say, hey, it's hard to eat in the times like this. Eat healthy, and you
It's so true.
gotta
So true.
walk them through like how you can make the good and best decision while they're at home. Now, because it
I just want to say
go for
one
it.
thing before we keep going into this, because I think it's really important to just stamp on this whole podcast individuality, because it's so important. There's not going to be a cookie cutter solution. And unfortunately, the way it works is like one person's solution is another person's demise, right? So what we really want to do is remember that, and remember that we're constructing your routine. You're constructing your own routine based on what's best for you, what you're good at, what you are struggling with, what your previous exercise history is like, and what your goals are, and what your equipment you're working with. And all those things, all those variables are juggled, and then boom, it spits out your routine that you come up with, right? And then you stick to it. And then you go from there. It might be leading you down one path. Well, it doesn't matter, because in the next program for the next, after you've done that for a week or two, your next program is going to help steer you back on this path. So every program is going to improve and make strengths, but also expose areas that are weaknesses that are going to be your next focuses. So, but you have to start somewhere. You can't just be stagnant and not stick to a program, for example. But so I just want to stamp that on before we go into the nutrition side, is just the individuality aspect of it. And I think that's just so important to remember when you're thinking about your routine. But so constructing your nutrition, oh man, this one is something that we are all going to struggle with as human beings, because there's an innate wiring in us to eat and stay alive. But there's also a lot of modern conveniences these days, so we don't need to chase our food to eat it, and we don't need to be outside and in the fields all day to get our food. So we are lacking that physical consistency demand the way that we used to have. So we have to adjust accordingly. We typically, if you're typically eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, stick with that. Stick with that routine and stick with your physical activity. It'll go a long way. But I find a lot of people are falling into the trap of I don't have a term for it, but just continuous eating throughout the whole day, or continuous snacking throughout the whole day, and they aren't sitting down for those organized meals again, which again is gonna just do well for your body. So if you are someone who is struggling with that, that might be the first thing you do, is just go back to having organized family time for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and eat those bigger meals rather than just snack on a little something for breakfast. And then, you're hungry a couple hours later, snack on a little something again, because you're just never giving your digestive system or your energy system enough time to work with what it's got already. And now you start adding to the system versus operating at a 1-to-1 ratio, and now you're going to add some extra sugars, extra fats in your system, and maybe add some weight you don't want to. And we don't want to go down that road. We want to be consistent with our focus of getting good nutrients in your body and eating for fuel first. Food for fuel first.
Yes.
And then you can have times for popcorn movie night, or you're going to get together because the whole family's going to make and decorate cookies together tonight for dinner. So you're going to make sure that you eat a really sound breakfast and a really sound lunch, and then you're going to get a nice good workout the next morning, right? So I think that's where I've constructed it for some of my clients, Eric. I don't know what you've done, but so just to reiterate, kind of constructing periods where food is fuel and period where food, an activity is circulated around food.
Right. And I love those two, because the second one is kind of more of this, we know that people are at home, stuck at home right now, and that can be a good social family bonding exercise to create good family habits and bonds. The other one is acknowledging that we need food for health, and it's not like we can do this every day. And I've been guiding people through, you have to make it a routine, because this now new normal that we're all trying to figure out day to day is a routine disruptor. Most people are used to getting up, going to work, doing certain things at certain times. Now time isn't really a factor. Like I said earlier, we have ample amounts, but people are actually still working from home, but time kind of gets a little skewed a little bit. So what I have been telling, we can't all take a weekend mentality for every single day that we're at home. I know when we
I
get
like
into
that.
weekends, it's relaxation time. We're at home more. People tend to snack a little more, like you said, because the food is there and they're, I don't want to call it boredom, but sometimes
It is. It is
we
boredom
boredom and then
eating.
we're hungry and we kind of go different avenues. And now where restaurants aren't open, places to go eat aren't open, we can't get food readily available or go out. It's much more okay. How do certain people eat at home? And I've been guiding people through, okay, you have to set up the routine on the weekdays, Monday through Friday. You have to do what you would do normally on your regular work routine. Because once this all ends, it's going to come back. And if you throw off your routine, it's going to be hard to get back onto your old routine.
Exactly.
So keeping that
Exactly.
routine, and I'm right on board with you with the 3 meals a day. Wake up. If you have breakfast in the morning, wake up, have breakfast. If you don't, if you're a fasting person, wake up, have your water, coffee, but keep the fast going. Eat a meal midday, 12 p.m., and then at night have a sit down meal, and try to keep it within those time frames that you would normally eat at your desk or at your job. Don't try to push meals to 1 2 p.m. and then you're eating later at night, or you're more hungry because you're eating earlier. That's the stuff I want to keep in line, in routine to go forward. And then the other stuff will fall in line. But it's very much okay, that's for routine. But now we have to look at the food. So, what's priority for food? Obviously, in this time, we want to keep our health optimal. And that's not eating processed food and garbage. I mean, it's things, nutrients and vitamins to help our immune systems the most. I mean, I haven't had
Yeah,
vitamin D here in a while. So,
yeah,
food
yeah.
high in vitamin D, a lot of veggies, good sources of protein. The normal diet is just, it's got to be almost every day set in routine, and that's hard for people. That is the hardest
You-
part.
You're trying to get nutrients that your organs need to operate and maintain this organism that you are. And you're trying to put your best brain forward, and you're trying to also just feel good about yourself and also just make it through this whole process. So that's why I think it's important to be organized with it. It's the same concept with the exercising and the gym. People lose that structure and it just all falls away. And I'm finding that a lot of my clients are just losing that structure. They're just losing the fact that they're not waking up and eating a breakfast the way they used to. They're not having an organized dinner the way they used to. They're just kind of grabbing for the fridge because they're just at home. You said it. They're getting a weekend mentality for this whole week, and I think that's really important to think about. Is try to still be structured, try to still stick to your routines, and have some sort of basic pattern or rhythm that you're working with your habits, and it'll go a long way for just your mental health, your physical health, and the way that you can have endurance through times like this. Because we don't know. This might be a week, this might be 2 weeks. So you have to construct the best routine that works best for you. And for everyone, that's going to be different. I know for me, that's completely different because I have ulcerative colitis and I'm in a flare right now. And I know for Menchie, it's going to be a lot different because he's got access to some equipment and the dude gets after it. So he's going to probably be maintaining his caloric intake the way he normally does as if it was a normal everyday week. But there are going to be some things that you got to take into consideration, and all you can do is adjust.
Yeah.
And
and, and plan. So the other thing I found with majority of people that I've worked with in the past is they're not used to meal planning or meal prepping for lunch. And maybe dinner, yes, but
mm,
breakfast and lunch they're not. They're used to getting it from a place in the city or grabbing a salad at lunch. And so that's where I've also found people are struggling with. They're asking me, hey, what do I do for lunches now? I don't know what to do. I can't make that same replicated meal that I would get out. So it's now giving them more options of Okay, make salad, put some protein on it, or just make a salad and put some healthy nuts on it and more veggies. Load that up. Ways that you can still get the food in, but giving them the options, giving them knowledge of how to use food when they're just at home and not someone else prepping for them. And I think that's also a big takeaway, because you and I are very much used to doing meal preps on Sundays, having our food, knowing what we're going to eat. Some people aren't used to that, and now they're confined to at home, but they have the time, they can cook. It's just now, how do they use those tools to make a complete meal? And that's the other avenue where people need to kind of broaden their knowledge on is cooking and how to make different meals and different items, so they're not getting bored of the same meal and reaching for snack foods, or just not
and
eating the right things.
and how to make healthy tasty, because I think that's a key part too, and we'll get more into that next episode, because I actually did want to do like some big batch meal prep ideas, as well as talk about that ins and outs of scientific research. So next week we hope to bring more information around the nutrition side of things. But yeah, so that's adjusting. And before I wrap up, I'm gonna lead off with our food for thought that kind of reigns true in times like now, and this comes from Epictetus, who was between 50 A.D. and 100 some A.D. And it's the stuff that the knowledge and wisdom just transcends through generations. I love it. It just goes, it's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. And it's so true. It's so true. Mic drop on that one. I don't know if we have anything else you want to say for wrap up, but I'm wrapping it up with that quote.
No, that is, you choose how to react to situations. That's the best way we can deal with adjusting on the go. That's how we have to do. That's how we survive and how we adapt and evolve.
And we're all in this together as human beings. No matter your background, race, ethnicity, sexual preference, whatever. And I think that's just so important to recognize. Like, we all have to lean on each other in times like now, especially that we are physical distancing, not socially distancing. I don't like that they use that term. But yeah, feel free to reach out to Eric or I on our website, thinkfitnesslife.com. You can find more information and easy ways to set up a time to talk with us, and we'll help you construct the routine best for you and get through these tough times. Thanks for listening. We hope you gained something from this episode. Our mission is to help people live their best life, both physically and mentally. Check out thinkfitnesslife.com for additional resources and schedule a complimentary assessment with one of us. We're always here to help.